This is the Certified Podcast, the official podcast for all collision related questions, topics, um, how to negotiate, how to get through that whole ordeal of being in an accident. It can be stressful sometimes.
Have you ever been in an accident?
Um, you know what? That's a good question. I don't think I've ever been like in a serious accident. No, I haven't, but I've damaged a lot of cars when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I mean that's fun.
How are we looking?
I think our audio is good.
A lot louder
I
than
got my
last
I got my
time?
man Mr. Liao watching this. I appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing good. Hope your family's doing good. If there's anything we can do to help you, man, give us a call.
Maybe next time we might take calls.
What's that?
Said next time we might take calls. We have
Yeah,
the
that's a good idea.
we have the program to do it.
Take some calls. Real life situations on things that are going on. People deal with accidents all the time. I can give you some things that are going on currently, like that we're dealing with. We had a vehicle come in. The lady was in an accident. Uh, she uh, she submitted the photos to the insurance company, and they just basically just sent her a check, like with nothing. They're like, here's the check. Like they sent her the check, and they're like, here's the check to fix your car, right? And so she was just assuming that she had to just go get it fixed for that price. She didn't know uh, that they actually had to come up with an estimate to come up with that dollar amount to give her that check.
Mhm.
And so what we're seeing a lot is when people get in accidents, they'll receive a check in the mail, but it won't have no other paperwork with it. It won't have like a copy of the estimate. It won't have any of that stuff, And so a lot of times, people that had never been in an accident. I mean, they would really not know how to deal with that whole process because, uh, for one, you got to figure out who the adjuster is. And so, for example, let's say you get in an accident, right? Okay. Well, they're gonna assign your claim to an adjuster. The adjuster is the one that's in charge of the payment, of course, but they're also in charge of providing that estimate, getting that estimate. So they might request photos. They might even send someone out to your, the job or to your house or to even where the impound lot where the car's at. Take some photos, bring them back to their office. They come up with it's called a preliminary estimate. So basically, what that means is like it's not an accurate. It's just preliminary. Like they're just kind of this is what it's gonna take to start the job. And so they're using a lot of vocabulary that's not familiar with a lot of people that aren't in accidents every day.
Yeah.
So they're saying, oh yeah, tell your shop, find the place you want to take it to and have them submit a supplement and we'll take care of it. Like, what the hell's a supplement? Like, so they're using all these terms and stuff, but I mean it makes sense. I mean they're one thing that someone told me one time. They're like, you know what, like ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse. So like if you get in an accident and you just kind of try to figure it out yourself and you make the wrong choices by taking it to the wrong repair shop or not, you know, trying to cut corners on the job. I mean, kind of falls back on the customer. Um, I wanted to bring up someone had called the other day and asked about if we did like if we saved on the deductible, right? And so back in the day, like that was like a big deal. Like everybody was like, "Man, save my deductible," right? Well, now what's going on is so most insurance companies will say, well, if you take it somewhere else, if you take it somewhere else other than we recommend or suggest, then it's not going to be under warranty, right? Well, that's not accurate. Okay, the repair shop is responsible for just documenting the whole repair process. All right. For example, like um, let's just say, for example, let's just use a roof for an example, like a roof, right? Let's say you have a tree falls in your house, right? And it damages the roof. The insurance comes out and they say, hey, it doesn't need a new roof. Someone can repair it, and this is an estimate of them, how much it should be to repair the roof, right? And so let's say you give me that estimate, and I do it exactly the way the insurance recommends, right? Okay, and let's just say 2 years or 3 years down the road it leaks, right? Well, you can call us back. The same thing with the claim. It says, hey, you know what, like, so what this damage on the suspension is kind of messing up now or whatever. We can go back and we can reopen that claim. Like you have the claim number, so you have a reference number. So most repair shops, what they fail to do is they fail to keep a proper paper trail, a documentation of that repair. So whenever they go back, they're like, shit, I don't even remember where I got the parts from. I don't even know like what we did on that. So they're having to like guess, and so then it voids, them reaching out to the insurance and says, hey, you know what, we did this job a year ago. This is actually what we did on it. Here's the paperwork. Here's the documentation. Here's the scans. And so it allows us to go back and open up that claim. And we've had some customers come by and says, hey man, I got my car fixed at this other shop, a couple of years ago, and I'm having some problems with it. And they're like, I saved the deductible, and I'm like, dude, like, as soon as you save the deductible, like, you kind of void any kind of warranty whatsoever. Because think about it, like, if the insurance is giving you $1,500 or they're giving you $2,500 to fix the vehicle, right? And you're saving them $500, so you're only making. I mean, they only have $2,000. Something has to not be done to save that $500.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just you have to pay. You pay the deductible. It's gonna be better off in the long run, in case something happens to that vehicle. So I know too. Also, we had what's been going on with you, dude? What's up?
I don't know. I got this set up for us.
Yeah, nice setup, man. Hey, we need some. Yeah, big shout to my man Aaron getting it done over here. Massive Action Podcast, man. We get a lot of questions, and people call us to the office, and we actually have so one our company actually has something that's pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure once I say this, a lot of other businesses are going to copy us, right?
No more gatekeeping.
But you can actually text us a text. What's the number, Aaron?
That number up.
So you can actually, this, I'm being real with you. Can I be real with you for a minute?
Of course.
Can I be real with you for a minute? So a couple years back, man, we're doing this customer's vehicle, and we had the old way of our own phone, like old style phone system, right? We had the landline, then we had my cell phone number, sometimes the staff in the office, like, they'll share their cell phone number in case customers want to get a hold of them or whatever, right? And so what happened was on this customer's vehicle, the communication got confused. Like, like someone said something and then I said something else and then someone said something else. Before you know it, like there was so much miscommunication with that repair process, with that repair, dude. And I remember, like, she was like, you know what? Y'all's communication is horrible, right? Like, she was pissed, dude. She's like, y'all, I would never come here again. I couldn't get nobody on the phone, and like, no one called me back. And like, man, I was like, man, so what, like, I need to fix this. So what we did was we invested into a platform that allows everybody to be on one line of communication, right? So like, if someone, for example, the number's right there, but also if you call the office, the 225-2555, after the third ring, it'll say, hey, you can actually leave a message, or you can actually just press any key and you'll receive a text, right? And so, like, let's say if they leave a voice message, right? It'll actually transcript the message to all of our texts in the office. Like, it's like, hey, you got this message came out, so it transcribes the message, right? But if they press any key, it opens up that text line of communication. and so now everybody can see it in the office. So what happens is like nobody goes on like answered. You know what I'm saying? And so man, it just made things a lot easier, and it just because I mean that's a big big thing like communication. Because I mean you get in an accident, like you have to kind of rearrange your whole life, because like your vehicle's out. So now you're gonna have to like either rent a car or sometimes they don't even provide rental. So like uh, the communication just kind of helped out, and so that's something that we have that I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? I'm proud of it.
Seems like a big help.
Yeah. What's been going on with you, man? You've been getting swole. What, you been hitting the gym or what?
Yeah, they should check out our TikTok. Plug it.
Aaron's been hitting the gym, man. He's been looking good, eating right. Um, and once again, big shout out to our collabo. Show them the collabo hat.
We got the Corpus Christi Police. And what do we do for them?
CCPD we got CCPD, and so if you didn't like just one thing about certified, and we'll go back into collision talk, but like Certified Collision Works is actually the official. We're actually the official vendor for CCPD, undercover code enforcement, water department, the dive team, the what is it the lifeguards for the beach. Um, I think we even did the border patrol. Not the border patrol. For the fishing.
Oh,
Game warden. Yeah, game warden. And so we're the official repair center for them. So we take care of all their fleet vehicles and all their police units. Man, those things get banged up, pretty bad. So we make sure that they get back on the road and they're looking good again. But that's us. There's a fly in here. It keeps jacking with this.
I think you're just going crazy.
Yeah. Well, hey, do you have anything going on in the city? Any current events, news?
There's two things I want to get into. First, I didn't have time earlier to look it up, but some private contractors hit a water main on the island today. I think it was today.
And so what happened?
A lot of water flowing out. Not good.
Let me know if you have any questions if you're watching us live on Facebook, and if you can share this video. Like just share the video. Maybe someone got in an accident today. On the way home, they got rear-ended, and they're like, "Man, I just got in an accident. I don't even know what to do." And we're gonna take some time to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. So every week, we reach out to different businesses that we work with, our people that are trying to promote their business, and we just give them a shout out. Like they help us sponsor the show. And today we actually have Bay Auto Service on Castores, and Jason, Tim, and that dude's gonna be pissed. I don't remember his name. It's Jason, Tim, and dang, I always see him at the gym too. He's gonna get pissed. He's like, "You don't remember my name? I always see you." Dang, I want to say Frank because he's like a buff dude. He looks like a Frank, but he's not a Frank. He's like George. He's a George. So it's Jason. What did I say? Tim and
maybe George.
No, it's George. It's George. So big shout out to Bay Auto Service. They're on Castores, right next to. I want to say it's if you're coming, let's say if you're going on Holly, you can make a ride on Castores. It's a big blue building. It's called Bay Auto Service. And so some of the stuff that Bay Auto Service provides is they do a lot of alignments. They do a lot of suspension repair work, AC work. I mean, we send a lot of our vehicles that are involved in an accident. We actually sublet out to Bay, right? And so what that means is like if there's any vehicles that have been in an accident and they need mechanical work, we'll shoot it to Bay, right? And what happens is they'll diagnose it. They'll let us know, hey, this is going on with the vehicle or whatever. And dude, what's up with this fly? They'll let us know what's going on with it. And dude, I can't stand flies, dude. Like inside the house, like I can't stand flies inside the house. I wonder if it's a Corpus thing, like flies.
Probably. They got
Dude.
roaches everywhere too.
Huge. Okay. So anyway, Bay Auto Service, man, they're on Castores. If you need an alignment, go check them out. Calibration. Nowadays, you want to be. I consider them like one of our partners, right? Because we work together on these claims. So if someone gets in an accident, and I'll just explain some of the process on how what we go through if someone gets in an accident on a newer vehicle, right? So for example, a lot of the newer vehicles in the front bumper, they'll have distance sensors, right? And a lot of times those sensors, they're projected forward. Those sensors are for when you're on cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
They're on cruise control and they can detect vehicles in front of you, right? They also detect if you're too close to a vehicle. They'll actually apply the brake for you, right? You have the distance sensors that are going to be on the rear corner of the vehicle. Sometimes they're on the taillights. On the new Fords, you'll actually see them on the taillight. There's actually are the Dodges. They're actually built into the taillights of the Dodges. If you know what's crazy is like the Dodge taillights, they're like $750. Yeah, Dodge.
Because the sensor, right?
Yeah, it's because that it's an LED. It's all encapsulated. Like it's crazy. They're expensive. But so if someone gets in an accident, what we do is we have to make sure that everything's calibrated back. And so a lot of shops don't even take the time to do that. They'll just kind of, especially if you're dealing with like a smaller shop, like like I can admit when I first started doing claims, I was doing claims. I started off like on Agnes, like airport, like behind. One of my shops was behind. Was it Gulf Coast Graphics back in the day? Like we never knew. I mean, back then there wasn't any of that stuff. But things have changed, and vehicles are so advanced now. Like you have to be on top of your game with this stuff, because I mean you want to make sure you know what you're doing, how to calibrate it, especially if you're dealing with another repair shop, like Bay, they deal with that all day. So like a lot of that stuff is very common to them. I can get on the phone with Jason or Tim, be like, hey, we got this vehicle, it was hit. They hit a deer or whatever. One of the sensors got damaged. We need to calibrate that. And if the sensor's not working, we have to troubleshoot it. Maybe there's a loose wire or something. So like all that stuff is very tedious work that only, I mean, you have to be an expert. You have to be a pro at this stuff to get that stuff done. So big shout out to Bay Auto Service on Castores. Go check them out. Jason, Tim, and George, tell them you heard us on the Certified podcast, giving them some shout out. What else been going on, dude?
Drake and Kendrick. Have you seen that?
What is that about?
They're beefing.
They're beefing?
Yeah.
What's the beef?
Not sure how it started, but Drake said that Kendrick beats his wife or something.
Yeah.
And then
Kendrick, he's married?
Yeah, or baby mama or something. I think he's
Look
married.
it up.
And then Kendrick dropped a big diss track on Drake and a bunch of things. It went from like a little thing,
Yeah.
and then he took it crazy. And then, yeah, he has a wife.
He's married?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, or fiance. Yeah, he has a fiance.
Wow, I didn't know that. Cool. Also, too, that water park opened downtown. You see that?
No.
Cove Park, the water garden.
Water garden is what it's called.
Water garden. That thing opened up.
Is that why you're cutting weight?
While we're cutting weight, so we can go visit the water garden. We went to just a little bit about the city. I mean, I'm not like an expert in the city past development or anything like that. I just went to a couple meetings and we overheard like kind of what's going on with the city and stuff. And man, they were just explaining how far Corpus was just so far behind on like maintenance, like just maintaining like the roads, like the fountain system. Like whenever they developed all that stuff, they really didn't have like a maintenance plan in place. That's why I went to shit, and even with the other one right there by American Bank Center, remember that I went to shit for a while?
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have like a proper maintenance structure set up, and I think too, like with the roads and stuff, I think they said they're like, man, I think like 10 to 15 years, even longer before roads actually will get better. So this is like we won't probably see good roads for the next 20 years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, at that, who knows like what's going to be going. And so I think one of the things that, not to get all politics, but I think that, just the transition of so many different people in position with so many different ideas, uh, it just kind of messed up. There was no flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody came in with a new idea, new agenda, new vision, and so they kind of scrapped the old, and then so like everything was like a reset every year. So, but I hope they get it together, man. I know the city manager right now. He's pretty cool dude. He's
It'd be
pretty.
nice to see Corpus grow.
Yeah, I mean it would be. I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of politics involved with the growth of Corpus, and I'm curious to know like what's gonna happen. But anyway, so what's been going on? What's up? Collision, what's going on? What other collision questions you have?
Um,
You know what? So earlier I had a question. Someone had asked. One of the main. This is a common question that we get. Is hey, are y'all gonna put a bondo in my car?
I remember you saying
Yeah. So
Bondo Man.
yeah. So let's talk about the word bondo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do this. Google bondo. The word bondo.
Body filler.
Yeah. Let me see what's the image.
It's a whole bunch of products.
Go to image. No, but like, okay, like
Uh,
go to that one right there. Look. So look, the bondo. Can you show that to this? Oh, airdrop it to your phone. Can you do that?
you do-
You can you're supposed to knock out the dent, right, and then
Mhm.
get it as straight as possible, and then you're putting like a glaze coat of bondo over the repair. You're sanding it and you're smoothing it out, right?
Mhm.
So what it's made for is just made as a glaze It shouldn't be very thick. All you're doing is just skimming over the area to make sure that the waves come out. So it's like a leveling product, right? But but people would use it to put like over rust. They'll put it over rust. They'll put it over just they'll try to, instead of straightening the dent, they'll try to fill in the whole dent,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when it becomes a problem because you're putting a lot. You're putting a thick. You're putting a thick layer on there, right? And what happens is, if it's not mixed right, what happens? It gets solvent. It gets air bubbles in it, and so if it's not mixed right, you'll get these little air pockets in it, right? And so whenever you go and you paint over it and you put it in the sun, the air has to release. So that's how come it starts to blister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't use it the right way. They don't know. They never got trained properly to use it the right thing, right? It's actually a polyester filler. So it's actually like a plastic filler, and you apply an activator to it, and that's what makes it harden up. So you put a resin to it. It's a I want to say it's a active. It's a what's the word? I mean, it's a two part process.
Mixture.
Yeah. So you have to put the hardener in there, and it activates it to make it go harder, right? And then
Like epoxy.
yeah, and then you sand it and you fill it out. So the Bondo kind of got a bad rep because people were using it for the wrong things. But the people. I mean, we still use plastic filler today. I mean, I have a video coming out there where I show the different plastic fillers that we use. There's one that's kind of all metal, and that one you can use like if you're doing like aluminum, or you're doing like a metal patch. If you want to just use all aluminum, it's called all metal. Um, and you can actually apply that, and it kind of just puts like like a metal. It has like a metal look to it. And then there's one. There's Everglaze. That one's like a real light one for like real fine scratches. And then you have the 3M Platinum filler. That's the one that we use, and that's also like a polyester one that we use in it. I mean, if you mix it right and you apply it correctly, that thing will last. It'll last forever, And part of the reason why that doesn't last is because they're not using the good products on top of it. They're not using they're not using the right products on top of that. So uh, the products are like cheap products, and it's people had asked, because we don't do complete paint jobs at Certified. We don't do. Cheers.
I got the sugar free. What do you got?
I was drinking this, and then I would take a shot. Here,
Oh damn.
take a shot.
Are you sure?
No, it was in the freezer. I got it out. One of our sponsors.
Another one.
Another one. This play. But yeah. So we also have people that come and they say, hey, I want to get my car painted. Um, I want to get my car painted. Do y'all do complete paint jobs? And so so some people think it's very easy just to change the color of a vehicle, but it actually takes like quite a bit of work, right? So think about it. Let's say you're Subaru, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to paint it. So tell me what you think goes into painting it. It's white, right?
Is white, correct?
Okay. Let's say if you wanted to paint it black. Okay.
First, you have to get rid of the clear, correct? Sand it all down,
Okay. Go ahead.
and then you got to sand it down to get rid of whatever's on top, any protectants,
Mhm.
and then you have to prime it,
Okay.
and then but before you prime it, you have to tape everything off, make sure anything that's not going to be painted. So like a lot of Subarus have a lot of plastic parts,
Yeah.
so you got to tape all that off,
Yeah.
prime it, let that sit, and then you got to paint the actual color that you want, and then put another clear on top.
Okay. So that's kind of what you kind of envision that
Hmm.
it requires to paint your vehicle that's white to black, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So let me tell you what goes into that. So, okay, what we'll do is we'll have to bring your vehicle in, right? We have to take off the bumpers, okay? We have to take off the hood, take off the doors, take off the windshield, and depending on how the quarter glasses are or the back glass, we might have to take out the glass as well. Okay, we have to take off the door panels. We have to take off the tail lights, the headlights, the grill,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what we have to take off, we have to disassemble the vehicle because everything that's white has to go black.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because everything that you described was just painting the exterior. What about the door jambs?
Yeah.
You see, what about when you open the hood,
The underneath.
the firewall right there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what about when you open the deck lid? You have the fire, you have this little crevice in there, right? So all that has to be painted. You know, think about on top. You have a luggage rack, right? You have to take that
Mm-hmm.
luggage rack off.
Mm-hmm.
You have an antenna for satellite.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to drop the headliner to loosen that antenna to take that off, so that you can paint everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of work, right, to do it the right way. You know what I mean? Uh, so whenever people say, "Hey, it should," it's gonna be real quick. Don't worry, I just want to paint it with real. Well, it's not real quick, because if you don't uh, if you don't prep it right, nothing's really gonna stick right. And as far as like the plastic, you have to take off all the plastic, all the they're called flares,
Mm-hmm.
the flares, the door handles, the mirrors. So there's a lot that goes into it,
Mm-hmm.
to getting it prepared just to change the color, uh, and also too, like, people will say, well, what is the difference between paints, right? Well, okay, so the difference between the paints is that, like, you'll have some paints. For example, have you ever used like a spray can?
Yes.
Okay, so most spray cans are enamel,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you spray them, and they have a gloss to it, right? Okay, so those are called single stage. Okay, the next one up is gonna be called a clear coat. Okay, so what the clear coat is, it acts like it's like a plastic coating that goes over the color. So like I'll give you an example. Have you ever laminated something?
Yes.
Okay, so the clear coat is like a laminate for the
Mm-hmm.
color. You know, so the enamel is like a glossy print. You see,
Yeah.
it'll last you, but it's not gonna last you as it's something that was laminated.
Mm-hmm.
So the clear coat is actually like a laminate for the vehicle, and so there's different qualities of laminate clear coat. So most clear coats, if you get a cheaper clear coat, they're not UV protective. And what that means is, like, uh, if it's someone that doesn't wash and wax their car often, it's gonna eventually dry out from the sun.
Yeah.
It's like skin.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the vehicle gets hot, what happens is the clear kind of it kind of opens up, like it has like pores. It kind of opens up, and then when it cools, it contracts. And so, if you're not ever waxing your car or you're not taking care of it, it's gonna eventually go to shit. The paint job, you know what I mean? It's gonna fade out. Um, we also get questions about the car wash. How what do you think about the car wash? Um, now, I mean, back in the days they had the car wash. They had like the brushes.
Yeah.
That would scratch up your vehicle. I mean, I go to Quick Quack in my the Jeep. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool with that. But if you have a black vehicle or something that has a lot of metallic in it, pearls, you might want to just wax it every couple of weeks, or maybe every month. A wax will actually help the life of the vehicle. It will definitely help it. One thing that you can actually use is, they have it's like a McGuire's. It's called a spray wax. Look it up real
Mm-hmm.
quick. See if you can find it. It's called a McGuire's. Life of your vehicle. That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna help. It's a quick wax. You spray it on. You wipe it off, and it just adds a protective on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If not, the paint's gonna eventually gonna dry out, and it'll probably cost you more down the road. Very common colors that fade pretty quick are going to be, of course, white. Red fades really quick because the pigment in the red fades really quick. You saw it a lot on the older Mustangs. They faded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Black is not too bad, depending if you don't wax it. You know, most people with SUVs, they don't really pay attention to the top. You know, maybe they'll wash the vehicle, but they don't really dry the top. Uh, you know that's you got to be careful of that. You know, it wouldn't hurt to get it waxed every month. Will actually save the life of the vehicle. You know, uh, I don't know. That's just pretty much that on the paint thing. You know.
You know anything about ceramic coating?
No, I don't. I mean, we don't really fool with any ceramic coating. I know there's a couple places that do that. I'm assuming it's just like another like a protective over the paint job. You know.
Hmm.
Um, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with it. I just know that's a alternative to wax. That
Yeah.
the water, when you pour water on it, it reacts differently.
Yeah, it beads off. Yeah, it beads off. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure how the what the
Protectiveness of it.
yeah. I'm not sure how that works. Uh, we never really fool with any of that stuff. Like I said, we just mainly do just minor insurance claims. You know what I mean? We do
Yeah.
all the insurance claim stuff. So that's mainly what we focus on. We don't do like restoration work or
Painting whole vehicles.
yeah stuff like that. So what else you got going on?
Um. Let's see. Again, I was setting this up so I didn't have too much time to prepare.
It'll be cool if we had some questions, man. Oh, you know what? Uh, we had I don't know if we talked about the last time about the parts. Did we talk about that?
About like used parts or aftermarket parts, not OEM.
Yeah. I mean, just working with the right repair center, you know, the right repair company, they can actually help, you know, with that. You know, if all insurance companies are gonna want aftermarket parts, and it's really the job of the repair center to see how they can get those OEM. You know, get those OEM means factory.
Hmm.
You know, and if you can, people want to know like what's the difference between aftermarket and factory, right? And so the difference is that the aftermarkets are replicas of the actual things, right? So so they're not going to be the exact dimensions. For example, let's say a hood, right? Okay, let's say that you have a factory hood and then you have an aftermarket hood. Okay, well the dimensions on the aftermarket are going to be a slight bit different because if they're the same, then it's copyrighted,
Yeah.
right? So that it's a slight bit different. So what that means is, let's say for example, the hood is a slight bit smaller than a factory, right? It's just like a small amount. But then you have an aftermarket fender, then you have the aftermarket bumper. You have
Those panel gaps are
you
getting
see how it
larger and
starts
larger.
the number starts to
Yeah.
creep of how it's off. You know what I mean? So you gotta understand that. You gotta understand the metrics of that whole repair, you know, and we do that. It's called repair planning. So whenever we're gonna start a vehicle, we do a repair plan. We say, okay, well, you know, how are we gonna execute on this vehicle to make sure it's done correctly? You know, what information do we need? What documentation do we need to provide the insurance company? And so people don't really think about that. You know, some shops just kind of just do whatever, and they just kind of don't really pay attention to the details of the repair thing. But over the years, we just kind of got really. I think what happened was we kind of got frustrated with getting so much pushback from the insurance companies. You know, because we deal with a lot of insurance companies. Like you see it every day. Like we deal with a lot of insurance companies. What's up with this fly, dude?
It wants to be on camera.
Dude, kill this fly, dude. I can't believe you allowed that. Can't believe you allowed that in the studio.
We gotta get security up in here.
Look at it. So, what was I saying?
That we work with insurance
Oh,
companies
okay, yeah.
daily.
So the pushback, probably just because of so much pushback from the insurance companies, like we kind of just figured out, okay, why, how, what did they like? What's their game? You know what I mean? And so the thing is like we need to step up our game. We need to step up our game and be more prepared on dealing with them and providing the right documentation and understanding like how the whole mastering the process, to make sure that it's done correctly. So that's what we do, man. Hey, well, I once again thanks for tuning in for the Massive Action. Oh, I was gonna say Massive Action podcast, the certified,
You're leaking the new one.
the certified podcast. We come to you every Tuesday. Let you know what, in the comments, let us know what time you think that might be a little better because we started at 5:30. Today we started a little late because
Mhm.
we were fixing some stuff up, but uh, let us know what time you think would be a better time for us to come on. We kind of played around with 3 o'clock. We said maybe 6 o'clock. Uh, I think we said like midnight at midnight.
Yeah, I remember you wanted the 3 a.m.
The 3
the
a.m.
night shift.
the night shift. We're gonna do it. So let us know what you think in the comments. And like I said, if you have any questions, uh, please leave them in the comments. We will answer your questions. And like I said, if you have anything that's accident related, you need help with the claim, text the number. Just text that number. Say, hey, I need help with this claim. Can y'all help me out? And we'll definitely reach out to you and get you set up. Once again, thanks for our sponsor, Bay Auto Service on Castores, Jason, Tim. Look them up, man. Let them know that you heard on the certified podcast and that need your ride fixed up. They'll
Mhm.
get you right. And so I would so I it's like I just gotta say something about Bay Auto Service. Like they are like professionals. They are professional there, dude. Like they're not gonna be like they're not shade tree mechanics. Like so if you're gonna go get your car fixed, that's a premium repair mechanic shop. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're gonna take care of you. They weren't they stand behind their work. So like don't go over there trying to be lowballing and he hook me up and like I'll bring my own parts. Like come on, man. Once again, thanks for watching the Certified Podcast.